Oh, you know who will truly stand by you when you're old, and everything changes? It's a question that most people don't stop to ask until it's already too late. In our younger years, we gather people, acquaintances, co-workers, neighbors, classmates, and we often assume that many of them will still be around when we need them the most. But time, that relentless river, has a way of revealing the truth. As we grow older, the circle inevitably gets smaller, and what truly matters isn't how many friends you have, but which ones still show up, listen closely, and care deeply. Pause. In this video, we're going to explore the 4 types of friends you can truly rely on in your later years. These are the friendships that go beyond superficial small talk and surface pleasantries. They are the ones that bring profound comfort in silence, unwavering strength during hardship, and genuine joy on the ordinary days. And perhaps more importantly, we'll also shed light on why some people, though they may be familiar faces, aren't the kind of friends you should count on when life gets really tough. Pause. So, if you've ever wondered who really belongs in your life moving forward, stay tuned. Because by the end of this video, you might see your relationships in a whole new light, and you may even be inspired to invest more deeply in the ones that truly matter. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Let's begin. Pause. Number 1, a friend who listens without judgment. There's something truly sacred, almost holy, about being listened to, really listened to without interruption, correction, or even a hint of quiet disapproval. And yet, that kind of listening is so incredibly rare, especially in old age when people are quick to assume they've heard your stories a million times before, or they condescendingly think they know better. That's why one of the most valuable, precious friends you can have is someone who offers their unwavering presence without trying to fix, critique, or steer the conversation. Just a steady, quiet listener who deeply respects your voice and makes ample room for your own, unique truth. Pause. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a vibrant 79-year-old woman who had grown achingly used to mere nods and polite, dismissive smiles whenever she mustered the courage to share something that truly mattered to her. Her well-meaning adult children often impatiently cut her off mid-sentence, eager to move on to their own busy lives. Neighbors were friendly enough, but always in a frantic rush. It wasn't until she unexpectedly reconnected with an old friend named Beatrice, a woman she hadn't spoken to in over 2 decades, that she realized with a jolt how deeply she had missed a simple act of being truly heard. Over a steaming cup of coffee, Beatrice simply listened. No phone to steal her attention, no unsolicited advice offered, just complete, undivided attention. And Eleanor said afterward, with tears welling in her eyes, that it was the first time in years she felt like her words had actually landed somewhere, resonating with another human being. Pause. The older we get, the more we carry within us stories etched in time, lingering regrets, fragile hopes, and the heavy weight of grief. And sometimes, all we desperately need is a witness, not someone to dissect or respond, but someone to simply sit across from us and nod with genuine understanding. When you find that kind of friend, one who doesn't rush you, who lets the silence stretch without any awkwardness, you have found something truly rare and profoundly healing. Research in psychology overwhelmingly confirms that feeling truly heard dramatically reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and even improves cognitive health. But beyond the cold, hard science, it simply brings an immeasurable sense of peace. Because when someone listens without judgment, they're not just hearing your words. They're saying, with their very presence, you still matter. Your voice still matters. And that's something we all desperately need, especially in a world that moves at an ever-increasing, dizzying pace, where seniors often feel left behind, invisible, or spoken over. A friend who truly listens becomes a mirror, reflecting not just your words, but your inherent worth. They remind you that you're not invisible, not outdated, not irrelevant, but still very much here. Pause. But here's what's just as important, my friends, you must be that kind of friend too. Be the one who actively listens, who puts down the distracting phone, who asks thoughtful follow-up questions not out of mere politeness, but because you genuinely want to understand the depths of their heart. That kind of presence has a power that most people tragically underestimate. Because in the end, when life inevitably gets quieter and the world feels like it's shrinking around you, few things feel more profoundly comforting than knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that someone will still sit with you, listen fully, and make sacred space for all the things you desperately need to say. Pause number 2, a friend who checks in consistently. There's something quietly powerful, almost magically comforting, about a person who remembers to check in, not just on obligatory birthdays or when there's dramatic news to share, but in the ordinary, beautiful rhythm of daily life. A quick, heartfelt call, a brief, thoughtful message, an unexpected visit without any particular agenda. These seemingly small gestures can mean the absolute world to someone in their later years, often making the profound difference between feeling cherished and remembered, and feeling utterly alone and forgotten. Pause. Take Samuel, a kind-hearted 74-year-old man whose days had grown increasingly quiet and solitary since retiring and moving to a smaller, unfamiliar town. His new neighbors were perfectly pleasant, but remained somewhat distant, and his beloved adult children lived several states away, their lives understandably filled with their own responsibilities. Most days, Samuel diligently kept himself busy with his cherished hobbies and necessary errands, but the long, empty evenings often stretched before him like an endless, lonely desert. It wasn't until his dear old fishing buddy, Walter, began calling him every single Sunday afternoon, just to chat about nothing in particular, that Samuel felt a renewed sense of structure and joyful anticipation return to his week. They didn't dissect earth-shattering events, they simply swapped silly jokes, talked about the ever-changing weather, and fondly shared cherished memories of their past fishing trips. But that simple, consistent check-in became an unexpected lifeline, a beacon of connection in Samuel's quiet world. Pause. What makes a truly consistent friend so incredibly rare and deeply treasured is that they don't wait for something to be wrong, for a crisis to erupt, or for a dramatic event to unfold. They don't only show up when drama or crisis loudly calls their name. They show up simply because they genuinely care, because you're on their mind, and that kind of regular, reliable presence builds an unshakable foundation of trust, something that becomes infinitely more precious and vital as we gracefully age. As we get older, life has an undeniable way of naturally shrinking our social circles. Mobility can become limited due to health challenges, and old, familiar routines inevitably fall away. And that's precisely why friends who proactively initiate contact, without being asked, without needing a specific reason or a prompting, truly stand out like shining stars in the night sky. They are the ones who quietly say, "You're still on my mind, you haven't been forgotten," without ever needing to utter those exact words. Consistent connection provides invaluable support for our emotional well-being. Studies have repeatedly shown that older adults who maintain steady, meaningful social contact are significantly less likely to experience the debilitating effects of depression, cognitive decline, or those crushing feelings of utter worthlessness. But even more profoundly, it creates a comforting rhythm, a dependable, reassuring beat in the background of your week, something to eagerly expect, to gently prepare for, to genuinely look forward to. Pause. And if you are fortunate enough to have a friend like that in your life, someone who consistently shows up, you already know the profound comfort and unwavering security it brings. But if you don't currently have that kind of consistent connection, you can be the one to start. Set a simple reminder on your phone, choose one day each week, and make a heartfelt call to someone, send a brief but meaningful message, or even plan a short, casual visit. Make it a cherished ritual, not because you feel obligated, but because you deeply understand how incredibly it feels to be remembered, to know that someone is intentionally thinking of you. Because when someone takes the precious time to check in, especially when there's nothing particularly dramatic going on, it sends a quiet but incredibly powerful message that echoes far louder than most spoken words: you still matter. You are still seen. And you are absolutely still worth making time for. Pause. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I urge you to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our uplifting videos. Your support truly helps us continue creating good content to inform and deeply inspire you. Now, let's move forward to our next crucial type of friendship. Pause number 3, a friend who shares values and growth. As we gracefully age, we naturally begin to crave more than just casual, surface-level conversation. We yearn for genuine depth, meaningful alignment, and perhaps most of all, we deeply desire to spend our precious time with people who truly understand the kind of life we are actively trying to live, the values we hold dear. That's why one of the most profoundly rewarding types of friendship in our later years is one that is deeply rooted in shared core values, someone who is walking a similar path, not necessarily in terms of lifestyle or daily routines, but in their fundamental mindset and deeply held beliefs. Let me share the heartwarming story of Patricia, an energetic 82-year-old retired teacher. She had a large number of casual acquaintances, people she could readily chat with at the bustling community center or exchange a friendly wave with during her daily morning walks. But it wasn't until she serendipitously met Susan during an engaging book discussion group that she suddenly realized something essential had been missing from her social interactions. They both shared a deep love of reading, but even more significantly, they both thoroughly enjoyed exploring new and challenging ideas, engaging in respectful and thought-provoking debates, and gently pushing each other's intellectual boundaries. It was a friendship that blossomed far beyond mere surface-level companionship. It actively nourished her inquisitive mind and deeply enriched her thoughtful spirit. When you share fundamental values with someone, your conversations naturally become more meaningful, more resonant. You find yourself laughing a little deeper, reflecting a little longer, and ultimately leaving their company feeling more genuinely alive and invigorated. It's absolutely not about agreeing on every single trivial detail. It's about fundamentally caring about the same core principles, perhaps kindness, unwavering honesty, deep-seated faith, remarkable resilience, insatiable curiosity, or whatever other deeply personal values resonate most profoundly with you. This particular kind of friendship doesn't just passively fill your time. It actively helps you continue to grow and evolve, even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. You are never truly done evolving as a human being. You are perpetually still learning, constantly refining your beliefs, and always reaching for new and profound insights. And a dear friend who shares your core values creates a powerful kind of emotional and intellectual mirror, reflecting your own deeply held convictions while also gently stretching your thinking and encouraging you to consider new perspectives. Compelling research in gerontology consistently shows that seniors who actively maintain friendships centered around mutual respect and a shared sense of purpose tend to report significantly higher levels of overall life satisfaction and greater emotional resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. They report feeling not just superficially happy, but deeply fulfilled, because they feel genuinely understood and, in turn, are able to offer that same profound understanding to their cherished friend. In the later stages of life, this deep sense of being understood is often far more nourishing and sustaining than fleeting moments of superficial applause or validation. It's easy to mistakenly assume that all truly meaningful friendships must be solely based on a long history, on the sheer amount of time you've known someone, or on a collection of shared past experiences. But the beautiful truth is that some of the most powerful and transformative connections can unexpectedly begin later in life, when two kindred spirits simply realize they see the world and its inherent complexities in a remarkably similar way. So, if you are fortunate enough to find someone who consistently makes you think, who makes you feel deeply aligned in your beliefs, and who gently brings out the very best version of yourself, hold on to that precious connection with all your might. Make deliberate time for that nourishing friendship, actively nurture its growth, because those kinds of friends aren't just pleasant to be around. They serve as vital reminders of who you truly are, who you have been throughout your life's journey, and who you are still vibrantly becoming with each passing day. Number 4, a friend who shows up in difficult times. There are friends who are blessed at lively gatherings, friends who enthusiastically share your favorite hobbies, and friends who always seem to have a captivating story or witty remark to share. But when life inevitably takes a sharp, unexpected turn, when illness strikes, when the heavy cloud of grief descends, When everything suddenly feels heavier and more overwhelming than you ever imagined, you quickly, and often painfully, learn who truly belongs in your innermost circle, the bedrock of your support system. A true, unwavering friend in old age is one who doesn't mysteriously disappear or become conveniently unavailable when things get uncomfortable, messy, or emotionally challenging. Instead, they bravely lean in, they consistently show up, and they steadfastly stay by your side, offering silent strength and unwavering support. Let me share the poignant story of Arthur, a resilient 85-year-old widower who had lovingly built a comfortable and fulfilling life with his beloved wife of 52 years. When she sadly passed away after a long illness, the sudden silence in their once vibrant home was deafening, an almost unbearable weight. The sympathy cards poured in, and the funeral was understandably full of well-meaning mourners. But within a week, the frequent phone calls dwindled to a trickle, and the comforting visits slowed to an almost complete stop. Most of his former friends, unsure of what to say or how to navigate his profound grief, sadly said nothing at all, their absence speaking volumes. Except for one truly remarkable friend, his dear friend, Thomas, whom he had known through their shared involvement in their local church for many years. Thomas didn't ask the perfunctory, often unhelpful question, "Do you need anything?" Instead, he simply showed up at Arthur's doorstep every morning with a steaming cup of coffee and a warm, comforting presence, and quietly sat beside him in the heavy silence. No unsolicited advice was offered, no attempts were made to minimize or fix Arthur's deep pain, just a steadfast, unwavering presence that spoke volumes of his genuine care and unwavering support. That kind of friend is incredibly rare and deeply precious, the one who bravely stays when others understandably step away, perhaps feeling ill-equipped to handle the weight of your sorrow. The one who doesn't impatiently rush your grieving process or try to neatly tie a bow on your complicated emotions. The one who instinctively understands that simply being there, quietly and steadily offering their unwavering presence, is often far more profoundly helpful and healing than any perfectly crafted words could ever be. And when you are fortunate enough to find that kind of friend, you truly realize the immeasurable value of being genuinely supported, not only during joyous celebrations and light-hearted moments, but also during the darkest, most challenging times of sorrow and despair. These extraordinary friends don't need to possess all the answers or utter the perfect, magical phrase. They simply need to be there at the sterile hospital bedside, at your cluttered kitchen table amidst the chaos, or on the reassuring other end of the phone line when sleep stubbornly refuses to come and the weight of loneliness feels crushing. And often, it's not the mere frequency of their physical presence that ultimately matters most. It's the profound depth of their sincerity, the unwavering commitment in their actions, the quiet, unassuming way they consistently show up without ever needing to be explicitly asked, and the selfless way they continue to stay without ever seeking praise or recognition. Insightful studies in aging psychology consistently demonstrate that the consistent presence of a truly supportive friend during profoundly difficult periods can significantly reduce the long-term risk of debilitating depression and isolating emotional withdrawal. It's not about magically fixing the insurmountable problem. It's about the profound comfort of not having to navigate that overwhelming darkness entirely alone, about having one steadfast soul who bravely holds space for your pain when the entire world feels shaky and uncertain. And let's be brutally honest with ourselves, old age, while undeniably rich in hard-earned wisdom and newfound freedoms, also inevitably brings its own unique set of incredibly hard days. Losses tragically accumulate, physical health can become increasingly unpredictable and fragile, and the very people who once leaned on you for support may now sadly need your own dedicated care, or may no longer be physically present in your life. In those deeply vulnerable moments, you don't desperately need 50 casual contacts in your phone. You need one or two truly kindred spirits who will walk alongside you, not ahead of you dictating the path, or lagging far behind, but right there beside you, offering unwavering companionship and silent understanding. So, I urge you to ask yourself this deeply important question: who in your life would willingly sit with you in a sterile, anxiety-inducing hospital waiting room for hours on end, without complaint or distraction? who would genuinely call just to quietly check if you made it home safely after a difficult appointment or a particularly tiring day, who would thoughtfully and quietly drop off a comforting meal on your doorstep without expecting anything at all in return, simply out of genuine care and concern. That, my friends, is precisely the kind of friend who is truly worth keeping incredibly close to your heart, cherishing their unwavering presence and reciprocating their selfless kindness. Pause if you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable. Please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here and engaged. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I wholeheartedly recommend you subscribe and tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos filled with valuable insights and heartfelt inspiration. Your continued support truly helps us continue creating good content to inform, uplift, and profoundly inspire you on your own unique journey through life. Now, let's move forward to our final, crucial thoughts on this important topic. Pause for our final thoughts. Let's reflect on this. When we are young and perhaps a little naive, we often mistakenly believe that having a large number of friends equates to being loved, deeply connected, and somehow successful in life. But as we gracefully age and accumulate invaluable life experience, life gently and wisely teaches us a far quieter, more profound truth. It's ultimately not about the sheer quantity of friends you have. It's about the enduring quality of the precious few who truly remain steadfast and loyal. These are the extraordinary individuals who consistently listen without judgment, who thoughtfully reach out simply because you're on their mind, who deeply share your core values and understand the unique rhythm of your heart, and who are still bravely standing right beside you, offering unwavering support, even when life grows overwhelmingly heavy and profoundly unclear. These are the invaluable friendships that ultimately hold us together, providing an unshakable anchor when everything else in our lives might sadly seem to be falling apart. Pause. So, I encourage you to take a quiet moment for thoughtful reflection and ask yourself, who are your for? Who are the individuals who have consistently shown up in your life, not just during the lighthearted and easy times, but also during the darkest, most challenging, and most uncertain periods? And perhaps even more importantly, I urge you to honestly consider, who are you being in return? Are you actively striving to be that kind of unwavering, supportive friend to the people you cherish? Because true friendship in our later years isn't merely about nostalgic reminiscing about the good old days. It's fundamentally about deeply reciprocal mutual care, actively being present in each other's lives, being authentically real and vulnerable, and offering a steady, reliable presence that can be counted on without question. Pause. The years that lie ahead can still be deeply meaningful, even breathtakingly beautiful, but not because of the sheer number of people surrounding you. Instead, it's because of the profound strength and enduring depth of a few truly authentic connections, the precious few you can absolutely count on, the ones who consistently make you feel genuinely seen, deeply valued, and never truly alone, no matter what life may bring. So, choose your inner circle wisely and intentionally, and once you have found your truly kindred spirits, hold them incredibly close to your heart, cherishing their unwavering presence and reciprocating their selfless love. Because the right, authentic friendships don't just offer fleeting comfort. They actively preserve your inherent dignity, deeply nurture your precious spirit, and consistently remind you, no matter your age or current circumstances, that you are still profoundly loved and utterly worthy of that love. Pause. Thank you so much for joining us today on this important exploration of friendship in our later years. We would absolutely love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Please feel free to leave a thoughtful comment below and share just one key thing you learned from this video today, and perhaps how you plan to actively use that insight to nurture your own cherished relationships moving forward. Your valuable thoughts and personal experiences are incredibly important to us, so please don't hesitate to share them openly and honestly. Reading your insightful comments truly gives us great motivation and heartfelt encouragement to continue creating content that resonates with you. If you genuinely enjoyed this video and found it to be helpful and thought-provoking, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and share it with anyone in your life who might also benefit from these valuable insights. Your incredible support truly helps us continue creating good content to inform, inspire, and uplift our wonderful community. Thanks so much for watching, and we eagerly look forward to seeing you in our next video. Pause. Valuable lesson: the quality of your friendships in later life far outweighs the quantity. Focus on nurturing deep connections with those who truly listen, consistently check in, share your values, and show up during difficult times. Be the kind of friend you hope to have.